Hi Ryan, how are you? Nice to meet you. Come on in.
Thank you.
Would you both like a cup of tea, water, coffee?
I'm
No,
alright,
thank you.
Did you have any trouble finding my home?
I had a little bit of trouble. We ended up using Google Maps.
Oh, great. So you've come straight from work?
Yeah.
Where do you work?
I'm a school teacher at Varsity Lakes College, and Ryan is a builder.
Oh, great. And do you teach secondary or primary?
I teach secondary.
So Ryan, you're a builder. Is it very busy now in the construction industry?
Yeah, pretty busy, but yeah, I travel to Brisbane every day at the moment.
Okay, great. So finally lovely to see you. So what we're going to do this evening is the interview, and it's going to take about an hour. We're going to go through the government paperwork together, and then you're going to explain to me what you want for your special day. And I'm going to make some suggestions along the way, and we're going to look at some marriage ceremonies together. We won't read them all now. I'll give the folder to you to take home, and you can read that, and then there might be some questions that you might like to ask me after having a quick browse. And so we'll start with the paperwork.
Okay, and is it essential that we do the government paperwork now?
No, we can talk about the marriage ceremony if you like now. It's more relaxing, seeing you've come both straight from work. Would that be okay? If we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, would that be okay if we did that?
Yeah, great. Okay.
Yeah, Ryan and I have spoken at a bit of length about what sort of wedding we would like. We've just been to a few boring formal weddings, so we were looking at something that's a lot of fun where people have a really good day.
Okay, I'm just going to write a few of those things down. So fun and having a really good time. Okay. So yeah, we can definitely deliver something like that for you.
And Ryan is actually Greek. He was born in Greece. So we would like to include a Greek ritual, and being Greek, it's going to be a very big wedding of about 150 guests. We're thinking of an outside wedding with a traditional ritual, but that is all. I'm not really Greek or religious.
Okay, so you want a simple wedding, but you'd like to include at least one Greek ritual?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll explain what the normal format of a marriage ceremony is and make some comments on this sheet because you get to take it home and you can look at it later, and you can also look at the folder that I have here explaining some of the scripts, and you can go through it and then confer about it, and it can be a great deal of fun deciding on exactly what you want to do and what you don't want as well.
And is that the script format in there that you've written?
Yes. Yeah, so yes, and it'll explain to you the normal flow of a wedding, but I'll do that now as well.
Okay.
So usually weddings start with an introduction, and there are many types of introductions to select from, and there's a few in here. Now, all you need to do is tell me which paragraphs you like. If you like any of them, you might say you like paragraph 1 plus paragraph 7, but you don't like the last sentence in paragraph 7, and so on, because the introduction is not a compulsory element that you have to have, in your ceremony. You might like to tell the story of your lives together so far. First of all, you might like to talk about your courtship, your hopes, your dreams, and about your families. It's really nice if you do include, both sets of parents. Are they both alive?
Yeah.
Great. This is a normal format of a marriage ceremony, though. You do start the items that you see highlighted in here, and there's two particular ones that are the legal components, which must be a part of the ceremony. The other elements that are at your discretion, and you can certainly add other elements if that's what you want. and we certainly can add in a Greek ritual. There's no
Yeah.
problem. The introductions normally set the scene for the wedding though, and they usually talk about love, romance, commitment, family life. So you can pick up something from here, you know. And I'm sure if you've been to quite a few weddings, then, you know, you might have in mind exactly what you want said as well. And if you definitely don't want a boring one, where you can, you know, put a few humorous things in there, especially when you're talking about your story.
Yeah.
You can say, you know, look, we've read all of those and we don't see anything in there that suits you. And then you can further explain to me what you're looking for if you want to. And I can write it up for you, or you might say, as I said before, that you like paragraph 1 here in this service, and we'd like to write a paragraph of our own as well.
So how long should an introduction usually be for a wedding?
Yeah, well, on average across the ceremonies I do, they're usually 3 to 4 paragraphs, which I'll write here for you, but some people elect to have just 1 sentence, and some people, you know, can have 2 pages.
Okay, and can that be read by Ryan's mother, as we want her to be involved as much as possible? She's a bit disappointed that we're not getting married in the Greek Orthodox Church.
Certainly. Yeah, it's not a legal component of the ceremony, so other people can join in and read an introduction, and they can also read the story, you know, of how you met. If you'd like, I can do that for you, or you can also have a guest do it for you, or you might have your best man, or, you know, one of the bridesmaids do it, Bronte. So that would be an excellent way to introduce the wedding. The next element is a reading, and there is usually another one down there as well. There's one here at the bottom that you might like to have a look at, and there's just another word, you know, or you could have poems or prose. You might choose that as well. Readings are not compulsory, and as you were saying, you want something, you know, elegant, so you can still have a 6-stanza piece of poetry which might be pertinent to your ceremony, or you might have nothing at all. You might not have a reading at all. It's up to you entirely. You might say we're not going to have a reading there, but we might have a string quartet playing a piece that you love, or you might have just some music that, you know, your guests can reflect upon. But a reading is an opportunity to incorporate something like literature or music, or something, or a quote even that means a lot to you and to your relationship.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to have a ritual before we go on to the legal vows.
Good. So when you've thought about that, I can write in there the ritual and what the name of the ritual would be.
Yeah, so the ritual is called the Common Cup, a tradition that's observed by the Greek Orthodox Church and shared by the bride and groom as a sign of unity with each other.
Great.
It's a symbol of the common cup of life, a sign denoting mutual sharing of joy and sorrow, a token of harmony.
Oh, great. So did your parents have it at their wedding, Ryan?
Yes, they did. Yep.
Great. That's so lovely. I'd like to see the exact words, to explain the ritual, so the ceremony, you know, I can get familiar with it as well, you know, so I can present it to your guests, and especially those that aren't the members of the Orthodox Church.
Yeah, that's all right. I can get Ryan and we'll email some of that to you.
Great. That would be awesome. Okay, so the next element that we talk about, usually after the ritual, is a celebrant authority. And that's where I explain about the celebrant authority, that I'm bound to let everyone know that I'm a celebrant authorised in Australia, and that I have capacity to marry couples. And this is a legal requirement of the ceremony, which brings us to the next part, which used to be called the giving away. And even though you're not looking for a public statement of giving away, you know, so traditionally you might have grown up with that and seen it, you know, on TV, but it's at this point that you invite the guests to give their love and blessings. So, you know, you don't usually say anymore, who gives this woman away? You know, so your dad. Is your dad going to walk you down the aisle?
Yes.
Right. So, I take it that, you know, as your love and blessings for Bronte and Ryan, I invite you all to support them. So I might put it out to the guests.
Yeah.
And together, you know, they might agree to happily support you on your journey. And then your guests say, you know, we do.
Yeah, I'd rather that than just
Yeah.
my dad. Yeah.
So that's a way of engaging the guests as well and not leaving them out. So, you know, they're involved in the ceremony.
If with 150 guests, that's all saying that together, I think that'll be a good option.
Yeah, I think it'll be really quite uplifting and very nice with 150 people all saying out aloud in their best, you know, energetic voices. I do. If you say on the sheet when you send it back to me here, we would like to incorporate a ritual here and guest participation, you know,
Yeah,
and
so we
I've
just
made a note
outline
of it.
where-
So you
yeah.
just outline where you'd like that done
Yeah.
as well. And you also have an option to have a rehearsal. And that is included in the fee structure. It's not extra if you'd like a rehearsal.
Okay, and when do we usually do that?
So we usually do that. It's a couple of days to a week beforehand. Sometimes you're allowed to get into the venue that you've chosen. Are you having an inside or an outside wedding?
Inside.
Right. So yes, we're usually allowed to go in.
Yeah,
If
that should
not,
be
we can
fine.
just, you know,
Yeah.
pace it out perhaps at your home
Yeah.
or whatever. And then people usually can come to my place as well and we can go through the rehearsal.
Yeah.
It's just an actual way of, you know, like getting used to the ceremony, when to
Yeah.
sign, etc., and
Yeah.
where to stand and
Yeah.
so on. So the next component is the asking paragraph, which asks a simple question: will you take this person to be your wife? And there's samples of the asking in here as well that you can choose. It's not a legal component. It's just something that has evolved in traditional weddings over the years, and a lot of people still like it because it gives them the ideas that their vows are actually next.
Yeah, I think I saw one of those. I don't really like the term honour, but because we both just like to stress the equal partnership.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can also have a look at that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so certainly you choose all the wording. That's just an example in here that you can have a look at. And you will see there that there are 10 other asking paragraphs, you know, for you to choose from. And it's entirely up to you. So in terms of the vows, there's definitely the legal component. There's one mandatory sentence that you both must say, and then you can say any other words that you choose from. And it actually says in here the legal vows as well that you can see. Here are the many different vows. You don't have to have the same. You don't have to say the same. You know, one each. And I usually brides and grooms like to repeat after me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I will be saying repeat after me.
Yeah. And is there anything that we have to say?
Yes, so that'll be in the legal component that you actually have to say in that. It can be very short or it can be very long.
Yeah.
That's up to you. But the legal vows are also in here that you get to take away and choose. So yes, you must say a mandatory legal sentence in your vows, and then you can have other words to go in there as well. Bronte, you might like to design your own and not let Ryan see them. And this is talking about your personal vows now. And the same with you, Ryan. You might need some help, or both of you might need some help. But if not, included in this folder are some prompts
Yeah.
as well that you might like to take home with you and get you started.
Yeah,
But you
I
can
wanna
always,
have
you know,
something-
contact me.
Yeah, I want something along the lines of free use of a credit card with no limit.
Yes, excellent. Yeah. Make your vows, you know, as joyful as you want to,
Yeah.
but remember that they're quite serious. So, you know, you can also put in there, you know, a bit of fun element. But also, I suggest that could go in your story,
Yeah.
you know, as well. Have a bit of a laugh, enjoy the moment,
Yeah.
and but also, you know, remember you'll be facing one another, and make them, you know, a bit unique and a bit an intimate moment
Yeah.
of the vows, and it's more ceremonial to keep it a little bit serious and
Yeah.
loving as well. So that's the vows. So we go legal vows and then your own personal vows, and you can always put that in. You know, Bronte, about the credit card, lucky girl. Okay, so the vows, and then next is the ring ceremony, where you put the rings on each other's hands. Are you having one or two rings?
We're having two.
So you'll have one each?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the best man
Excellent.
will have them.
Okay, so your bridesmaids will have your rings, Bronte, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so there's many different ring ceremonies to pick from, and you don't have to have the same, you don't have to be saying the same again if you don't want to. And usually they're just two fairly long sentences. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. We'll keep it really simple. Yeah.
yeah. And then just put, you don't have to say the words while you're putting the rings on. You can
Yeah.
just put the rings on and then say the words. So just let me know about that as well.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay. You might like to say your vow and then put the ring on the other person, and then the other person can say that his or her put the ring on as well. So, you know, alternately, it's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
Or you can have the ritual before the legal vows, or, you know, after you put the rings on, you could always have the common cup ritual now as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then was it the declaration?
Yes, now I give you the declaration of marriage, and there is a selection of different paragraphs here. What is usually said is that I need to say legally is I declare you to be husband and wife,
Yeah.
or I pronounce you to be husband and wife,
Mm-hmm.
or, you know, I can say it's my great pleasure to introduce you as husband and wife.
Yeah.
So just pick something
Yeah.
you think is going to suit you both and
Yeah.
suit your guests,
Yeah.
you know, as well.
Yep.
If you can't find a suitable one, well, then we can just write one
Yeah.
for you, and usually then there's an opportunity to kiss.
Yeah.
There. Are you okay to kiss, or?
Yeah, I suppose I should say that Ryan's family are very robust people, given that they're Greek. I'm almost half expecting a lot of interjections throughout the whole ceremony, so I suppose in one sense it's just to forewarn you.
Okay, well, how do you feel about that? It's not going to be upsetting for you, or?
It's just the normal within our family, so I think
It's okay.
we're just going to try and keep a straight face and
Oh, that's fine.
soldier on with it.
Okay, well, if that's the norm with your family, just, you know, I'd be getting people to try and, you know, like, and they will probably, you know, because you'll have the microphone saying the legal vows and then your own vows, you know, and it's all right if they give a bit of a laugh, you know, during that period of time. But I might say something like, I would ask you all during the vows to reflect upon your own relationships and of love across the world, and this gives them time to listen to you and to think about that, and it quietens them for a moment.
Yeah.
So I might say that just before we go into the legal vows, and then having your personal vows then, because that's the focus. The focus is your promise to each other. And that's the focus of your ceremony. And if all else is fun and that's the serious part, well, then everybody, you know, will remember it. Yeah. Okay, so then I say, let's kiss, and of course there's going to be much cheering and congratulating, no doubt. And then I ask you to sit down at the small table, and the table usually, you'll be arranging that, Bronte, with the place where you're getting married. Have you chosen a place?
Yeah, at the hotel.
Great. Well, I'll have to get those details from you
Yeah.
to fill in one of the legal documents.
Yeah.
And the card table's usually provided. It's like a card table the size. It's usually provided by the venue.
Yeah.
And you need that to sign all the legal documents.
Yeah.
Okay, then I ask you to stand back up
Yeah.
after you've signed the 3 legal documents, and I present you with a certificate and say, the certificate of marriage, that is, and friends, please congratulate Bronte and Ryan. And of course there's, clapping, cheering and kissing. Now, do you want me to introduce you as Mr. and Mrs. Gravanis, or do you want me to just introduce you as our...
Yeah, no, that would be good.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I think we'll probably get rid of some of the readings. I know what you said about the 2 aspects of the celibate authority and vows, and making it as simple as possible and as quick as possible, so people can get back to the fun of the party, so to speak.
Yeah, I know it's a lot to think about at the moment. That's why I've given you the planner in here to take home and think about it. Yeah. Now, in terms of getting it back to me, I need it back for its the first draft, at least for the wedding ceremony, at least a month before the wedding.
Okay, yep.
Okay. So, for instance, do you know now if your wedding, or if your wedding's still not 6 months away?
Yeah.
We can draft it a few times and get it out and decide if you don't like that poem anymore, or change the ceremony right up to the night before. We can do that.
Good.
Okay. Okay, so we can tick that task off your list, and know that you can always come back to the arrangement of the ceremony and alter it.
Yeah.
So that's the ceremony. If you would like to cut and paste it and have a look at it at home, just let me know and I will send you the electronic version.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Okay, so are you feeling up to the government paperwork? I'll give that to you
Thank you.
to take home now. Okay, so now we have the NOI here, and it's a notice of intention to marry. You might have heard of people getting a marriage license, but in Australia here there's no marriage license. It's always been a marriage application. It's a notice of intended marriage. So I fill in this document with you, and then it goes into births, deaths and marriages in the city, and they log in. This doesn't leave my home though until after you're married, which is quite an amazing thing because it's a statement of your intention to marry. But then it all goes in after the wedding, and your marriage is logged in legally by the department.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, in terms of this document, we have to sign it. It takes 1 month before your ceremony to become active. So today is the 14th of September. So that means that the 14th of October is the first day that you can legally marry.
Yeah.
So from the 14th of September, it lasts for 18 months as well.
Yeah.
So if you choose to get married in 16 months' time, for some reason that the wedding is postponed, just saying, then you have this document and it is legally binding up until 18 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So inside, these are just some preliminary notes about people who should be 18 before they legally get married. And I know I've asked you that you're both over 18. And if you're not, it's telling you that you should present some proof.
Yeah, I suppose we should ask. We were thinking of getting married in about 6 months' time. Some of Ryan's relatives are coming from Greece, and one of the other options we thought is just doing a bit of a hall wedding and it's 1 month away. Is it possible to get that backdated?
No, unfortunately, celebrants cannot backdate these forms, but you can apply to births, deaths, and marriages for a shortening of time. So what would happen if you needed a shortening of time? You would fill this in, as we're going to do now, and I would write them a letter saying I am available to do a wedding in less than a month's time, and you would then take it in to Brisbane to see the register of births, deaths, and marriages. Then you would need to ring up and make an interview time, and the officer would look at your reasons for shortening that
Yep.
period of time. In the 5 reasons that you have to state, having family members in travel arrangements is a category that they will look at, and then that person will have to look at your application and for a shortening of time, and that costs roughly about $35. And once they have shortened the time, then I can marry you with their permission, but without the shortening of time, it must be 1 calendar month away.
Yeah.
So also here is the privacy notes, which explains that under the Marriage Act, Section 42, my responsibility is to keep all your information private, and whether it be this file sitting in front of you, or whether it be the marriage register that you will sign, sitting on the desk during the ceremony, anything, phone numbers, they're all kept confidential. So I'll also let you know that no information about either of you will come from this office, as the files are locked in my filing cabinet.
That's good.
So to protect them even further, I'll just I just rip this cover off,
Yeah, on the way to the thing.
and I give it to you. And this is your client file, which you will get to take home. So I just put it in there as well. So I'm now going to take some personal details from you to complete the knotting. Here. So I'll just fill in the celebrants here. So what time are you, is the wedding booked for?
Yeah, it was 3 p.m.
Great. And on what day were you looking
on
at?
the 14th of September at the Gardens at Evandale, Gold Coast.
Yep. Excellent. And it's noticed of intended marriage to,
So Ryan.
Ryan Gravanis.
yes, and Bronte.
And do you just need Ryan's address or? Yep, so Ryan's
Yes.
address was 46 Ocean Street, Labrador.
Yes.
And he's lived in Australia for 22 years.
And your occupation is
Builder.
builder. And your usual place of residence. Sorry, the address again, Bronte.
46 Ocean Street in Labrador.
Okay, and your date of birth. You've got your
Yeah, I got my license.
license there.
Passport there.
Thank you.
13th of the 5th, 1992.
Thank you. And how old are you?
28.
28. And when's your next birthday, Ryan?
13th of the 5th.
Okay, so
I will be 29.
okay, excellent. I'll just put that down in the months as well. And your maiden name, your mother's maiden name?
Maiden name?
Yes.
Christakos.
Christakos. And your father's name in full, sorry.
George Gravanas.
And your father's country of birth.
Greece.
Mother's.
Greece as well.
And you haven't been married before, have you?
No, I
Ryan?
haven't.
Right. All right. Excellent. Okay, so your turn,
Yeah.
Bronte,
Yeah.
and your address.
It is 26 Venice Street, Mermaid Beach.
And your occupation is teacher.
Teacher.
And Venice Street,
Mermaid Beach.
Beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And you were born
21st of the 4th, 1995.
Thank you. And that makes you
26.
okay. You haven't been. Oh, sorry. I need to do your mother's maiden name in full and your father's name in full. Dad first.
Glenn Hopner
Mhm.
and Tracy Mason.
And your father's country of birth.
Australia.
And you haven't been married before either. Excellent. Okay. And you sign here. You can either go first, Bronte,
Yeah.
and then I need your signature here,
Yeah.
just to break it up that way. Yes, signing there. Right. And then I'm the witness, so I sign that form just to say that everything
Yes.
is true. Signing there, and then I put in my qualification, which is authorized celebrant.
Mhm.
And then I date today's date. Excellent.
Yep.
Okay, so, and I also put the date that it was received. And I put in the rights.
Yeah, so that's all the legal side of it
Yes,
for now.
that's
Yep.
right. Now, just quickly, it's Evandale, Gold Coast.
Yep.
Place, yes, that it's going to be solemnized. And while I'm doing this, you may also, I'm completing and filling in your passport numbers.
Yep.
And your license. You might like to just go through there and have a look at the various ceremonies.
Mhm.
Okay. Right.
He's trying to read something.
Okay, so
Do you hang on to that form from now on and
I do.
send it in?
I do. That's right. Putting in my number now. Now, it also says on this form that I have to tick a box to say that I've actually shown you a pamphlet on relationships. So here it is. This is what all celebrants give to those parties that are intending to actually marry. And it's just about relationships and some things that have changed, you know, and in the laws, but also services that might be able to help you before your marriage. You might like to do a marriage education course, things about taxation after marriage, things about changing your name, which might be really important for you, Bronte. Are you going to be changing your last name to Ryan Scrivanis?
Yeah, so it's fine that I'm signing with my maiden name now and
Yes.
then it changes after.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few other pamphlets in here that just list relationship places and adult education courses that might interest you to help you along your journey of married life. So I give them for you to take home and to have a look at as well. So I can also tick that to say that I've actually given some advice on that and that you've taken that home.
Yeah, and then do we have to do anything with the fees or?
Yes, we'll get to that. So just check that for me, that all of that information is correct. Just to let you know too that this is a legal document and that, you know, we are expecting your honesty here, but, you know, we do have all of your identification here to prove, you know, that's who you are. So I hang on to that now and I send it in.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you know, decide to ask for that shortening of time. And so that's all we need to do on that form. Exactly. So what I have to do now is just transfer that information on to this declaration of impediment to marry. So I will quickly do that, and then I get you to sign it here and now. And I also want you to and you sign this in your maiden name as well. And so while I'm doing that, I might just give you the statement of my fees and to sign as well, just to pursue and go over. I'll just transfer this information quickly. And this is a very important document.
So I don't mean to be negative, but what happens on the day if you're sick or lose your voice or you're unavailable?
I have like a partner celebrant, quite a few partner celebrants that will be able to be there for you on the day. Yeah.
And was a bank transfer for the fees okay?
Yes, that'll be great. Excellent for that.
Yeah.
So if you just like, if that's acceptable to you,
Yeah.
you could actually sign the fees now
Yeah.
at the bottom, and that would be fine. Okay.
Pen.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, so don't forget to take that. It's a very proactive way of, looking, at relationship education courses.
Yeah.
And there's some brochures with local, relationship providers in there. Now, this is a very important legal document.
Yeah.
So please take a couple of minutes to read through that and check that I've transported all of your information and it's all correct on there. And then I'll get you to sign it, and then I will sign.
So I'm signing just.
Yes, just
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Excellent. So that's your declaration of no legal impediment to marry, that you're actually not married to another person, you're not in this is not a prohibited relationship, and both of you are of marriageable age, and there's no other circumstances that would be a legal impediment to your marriage.
Yep. And have we got any backup plan in case there's any rain?
Well, yes, you need to actually speak that. Speak, with the venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying that you are planning to
Yeah.
get in, to be married inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. Do you have any questions?
Not at the moment. During the wedding, we'll have been through all of this legal stuff, and then on the wedding day, the last legal stuff to sign is just on the.
That'll
signing
be
table.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, but I will show you those forms
Yeah.
at the wedding rehearsal, and then I'll have them there for you
Yeah.
on the wedding day. That's
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so with the legal fees, the deposit is payable 1 week before the wedding, by the way.
Yep.
And you have your relationship folder to take away.
Yeah.
And you also have copies of ceremonies to take away.
Yeah.
And here are your passports, bag, and identification as well, your licenses.
Yeah.
And I'll just sign this. And that concludes. If you haven't got any other
No, that's everything.
questions,
Thank you.
yes.